All right, I think we're back. So if you are joining us just now, you didn't do anything wrong. It's me. It's not you. It's it's going to be okay. We're back. So you didn't miss anything. I got the notification. Something went wrong. Something YouTube just decided to puke. But we should be back now, and I'll just kind of cram this all together in the edit. But
Yeah,
you were
it'll be
just
fine.
about to talk about Becca's question, which I will, which is gone now, but it was about the
Oh, the
displacements
displacement
in the
mapping.
gobos, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
let's do it. Let's do it because this is really fun. This is like one of my favorite things. So we duplicated the layer and converted it to a smart object. So we're going to go filter optics. And it's going to load up. Apply previous filters and masks. We're going to say no. We're going to go light and glow, and we're going to go to the light category, and we're going to go to the gobos. So let's go down here to the new category, and let's scroll down here, and let's grab some leaves. Let's reduce the blur on that a little bit, like so. And let's pull these up. Let's grab this circle here. Yoink. All right, nice and big. Cool. So right now, this just looks like a texture that's like slapped over this photo, right? Because this is what it normally would look like. What's really awesome is that we do have displacement sliders in here, and it's so great. Basically, just grab this and like, oh, look at it move. It's so nice. So what I like to do is
Oh
I
my
like to
God.
blur this just,
Can you just show that again? Because I was looking off
yeah.
screen at weird stuff happening and I missed it and I want to see it again.
So we'll reset displacement to 0. So this is what it looks like, but it just looks like a texture slapped over top of the photo.
Yep.
And we can grab the displacement slider here underneath brightness. And it literally will read the displacement map of your image.
Oh
So
my
we can also
God.
change the blending
That's
mode from
great.
add to screen. So it's like less harsh. We
Sure.
can also add it to, we can also make it subtract. So we can make it shadows instead, which is very fun. So let's say we wanted this on screen, but let's say we want this to actually look like realistic because there's light direction in this, right? And
Right.
this displacement map is a little bit strong. Let's make it about there. What we can do is we can use easy mask and we say, okay, well, I just want this to be on the highlights of my image. So we want it to be here and here and here and here and in the hair, but I don't want it in that little corner. I don't want it down here. I don't want it in the shadow. I don't want it underneath her chin. I don't want it on the background like so, but I do want it in the hair. So let's grab like this, that little shadow there. We don't want it there. Enter. And we just very quickly hit the M here on the keyboard and let's give it a little bit of color. Let's make it a little bit yellowy like so. And just like that, if we hit M on the keyboard, we can see what the mask looks like. And so if we duplicate this layer and we go back to light and we go back here to new and we go down to the foliage, let's grab a different one, make this guy nice and big, stretch that out. Easy mask. We just want this to be on the background. So I'm left mouse click buttoning for the green lines and I'm red for right mouse click buttoning to make sure I don't want it any of these places. So I'm going to hit enter. And now there it is on the background. Let's give this a nice cyan color because that's who I am as a person. I love these color combos. And let's turn down the brightness on this just a tiny bit because it's a little bit too much. Go there. Add a new layer. Let's go to essentials. Let's go to color correct. Let's grab arrival. And just like that, we have this really awesome photo pulled together. Just like so. So before and after.
It's that fast. While this
Literally
is,
that fast.
while it's
Yeah.
great for work like this, I think immediately commercial work, branding work, products, like, in
Oh, it's
terms of
great for products. It's great for products. Yeah.
incredible visual interest to bottle shots or product shots, like white table stuff that
Totally.
you don't need a bunch of different lights now. I'm talking for people that have limited setups, limited space. learn how to shoot it correctly and then do the rest here. One of the things that Becca was just saying, besides, oh, hey, we're back. She had this lengthy reply, which was sick. And then
amazing.
More nerdily was talking about how she, used different displacement maps, and wow.
Yeah.
So it's making it a lot easier to do some really, really neat looking effects. And I think people underestimate this type of retouching when they get into their photos. I know, just in the circles that I roll in, maybe not your circles, right? Where the digital artists are constantly doing this sort of stuff. But as like retail photographer, being able to do some of the background stuff, right? I see that. I've been able to do that for a bunch of my clients. But there's always that element that I feel like I'm missing, which is that reality aspect to it. And being able to have little tricks like this in my back pocket will, I think, really help not only me think about my composites differently, but also sell it better in my portfolio as people are looking at.
Do you remember a year ago when you said, I'm not a compositor?
Oh yeah, 100%.
I don't know how to composite.
Oh yeah, it's all I do.
Got now. Got
you. You got me. You dragged me in. I was kicking and screaming. Now I'm just cozy in it. I'm at home. Like this is cool. Yeah. This is who I am.
Yeah.
So
come to the dark side. We have cookies.
Another 30 or 40 years, I'll be able to catch up to you. So yeah, I think being able to put all this stuff together and apply it to images like we're about to get into.
Yeah.
Before you do anything to this, right? Because I'm going to let you do this. It was 2 weeks ago. How long has it been since I haven't had heat in the studio? Yeah, 2 weeks. So
no.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Funny story preceding this photo shoot. So 2 weeks ago, today is Wednesday. So 2 weeks ago yesterday, I had a client come in. Now, this is a guy that drove several hours, 3-ish hours to come up here. He is a former Air Force pilot. He is a direct but lengthy descendant from Abraham Lincoln. And with the 250th anniversary of the United States of Awesomeness, he is doing some reenactment as Abe Lincoln. Looks like him, has a Smithsonian-level suit. Everything is period correct, down to his cavalry boots. Phenomenal, portrayal of this guy. So he called me up and said, I'd love to do some portraits. And, so I gave him the price and I'm like, shop around. And he was able to shop around and he's like, okay, you're more expensive, but I want to come to you because I see something in the photos. Great. So we set it all up. He drives up 3+ hours.
That's such a huge compliment when somebody's willing to drive that far.
Amazing.
That's like the coolest thing ever.
It makes me feel...
I mean, it's one thing. It's like, it's great that you hired me, but it's another when they're like, yeah, I'm willing to drive 6 hours for you. You're just like...
But it's also like, there's a certain amount of pressure that comes with it. Like, all right,
100%.
Definitely don't mess this up, right? Because they ain't coming back. So drives up. So I always get into the studio a couple hours early, right? Get my head right, make sure everything's clean. And I walked into the studio and here it is in Maine. It was, I think, 38 degrees outside. I walk into the studio. It's like 41 degrees. I was like, oh no. And I can hear the heater going and then it shuts off. And I'm like, oh no. So I'll make a very long story short. I immediately call the fix-it people, the furnace folks. They come out because this is a big industrial garage. It's a huge system. And so the guy comes out, emergency call, and he's like, yeah, I think it's this pressure switch. Making a long story short, this guy shows up at noon. I'm like, hey man, listen, I left you a voicemail before you drove up. If you don't want to work in the cold, I will reschedule this. I will, give you the whole thing on me. And he was just like, let's do it. I'm here. Let's do this. And I was like,
This is
Perfect.
an Air Force guy. Of course he's fine.
Right.
He's Air Force.
And meanwhile, he's
Fine.
wearing his like warm Air Force bomber jacket, and he's got period correct wool clothing. So he's going to be fine. I'm in my Arctic, like Eddie Bauer gear, you know, trying to shoot, and I'm all bundled up. My hands are numb because it's so cold in the studio. The heat's getting fixed next week. Whole new furnace has to go in. Nice, small little repair.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. So anyway.
Oh, R.I.P. to any profit.
So we sat and we did this shoot. We did some personal branding photos first because he wanted kind of like the before look. This is what I look like in real life. And then he wanted to get right into doing some historical looking photos as Lincoln. So long preamble to get into showing you some of these images. So this is what Michael looks like. He is Air Force pilot, great looking guy in his mid 60s. So we did some personal branding. I just wanted to show you the before. Now, this is what we started making. So brought him out into the clothing, and we had some reference images. You know, if you just Google Lincoln portrait, you're going to find some of the reference images, and you'll see a lot of the influence here because we did want to make it period correct. He's going to be out and speaking and potentially getting, you know, all these speaking engagements, especially this year. So wanted to have something that really represented him well and showed him in a way that wasn't like, hey, here he is standing outside his garage with an iPhone snapshot, right? They really wanted to make something artistic. So we went through and we just had a great time. Right? We just laughed, and he was telling me he knows all these details about Abraham Lincoln, his personality, his size. He was telling me his favorite jokes, and they're really like the depth of character that he was able to embody was really cool for me to then be able to photograph because it felt like I was photographing a celebrity, albeit in 38-degree temperatures. So, and that's Fahrenheit, by the way. Just didn't want to confuse
That's freedom units, not colonial
freedom units. I measure things in eagles and gold. So we went.
Americans will use anything but the metric system.
Anything but the metric system.
38 toasters cold.
So we were trying to get a bunch of close-ups. I wanted to replicate, you know, almost like a medium format look or a large format look, you know, and have a, I think I asked you, I was like, can we do like 0.9? You know, f0.9, something super shallow. But this image in particular is an example of using the gobos behind him, right? So plain gray background, and I was just able to add this in. The texture's all there, but it was a very light gobo in the background. I thought that came out great. We sat him at a table, and this, to me,
I love this shot. So
this
good.
Is out of camera. So because I was able to take that and then make some variations where I darkened the hair, I added that black mist filter, right? This is the one where I added, you know, basically just that diffusion on either side and, you know, really made that lens blur pop out. And I like it because of the depth of field that you have. The fall off is a little bit extra in this, but these are variations that are not final yet. So I'm working with the client to really dial these in. And I just love the way that it looks. I love being able to control that depth and have that fall off be exactly where I want it to be. Then I also made, there's the color variation where I'm just desaturating skin a little bit, really not touching anything else. And then this one was, again, just another various film stock that I used. But as I went through all of these images, and I'll just kind of click through them, I was using things like the film damage, like the damaged film and the scratches, and really doing things to try to sell the images a little bit more. And I liked this shot because it felt like the Lincoln Memorial. It felt like, you know, looking up at someone majestic. We also did things in his top hat. So this is a handmade beaver top hat made in Europe, all by hand. It's phenomenal. It's gorgeous. Now, he wouldn't necessarily wear the hat inside, so I was told, but we wanted some shots with the hat. Obviously, it's a kind of a telling piece.
It's iconic for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And I just, I process things a little bit differently, even so far as to really desaturate, add a little bit of sepia. And again, with the scratches and the dust and all of that, just to try to sell the images a little bit more. I like this one specifically in black and white. I think it just looks like it fell out of a history book. I did not use any light effects on any of these. So these are all just what you're seeing with the light setup that I had up. But all of these images are going to be touched in one way, shape, or form by Boris FX, by Optics, because I really do just want to give it that feel like you're leafing through a history book and boom, this is what's in front of you. So a couple of others that I was using that depth of field. Here's another one. I overcooked this a little bit just for the effect, but I wanted to see what it would look like and try to get that same focal plane.
You can stretch it, right?
Yep.
And like adjust that softness. Okay, yeah, good.
So these are the things that I'm playing with, right? Again, we're not final. I'm like, hey, here's what we can do. Do you even like this look, right? So that's kind of the stage that I'm at. I thought this was a really powerful portrait.
I love that one. That one's so good.
I think the only thing that I did in here was clean up the suit, like some lint and a little bit of desaturation, and that was about it. This is my Platon. This is my homage to Platon shooting up, like it's the Gaddafi shot, but it came out kind of Mad Hatter-ish.
But with a way nicer guy.
With a way nicer guy. Way nicer. And then this is the one that came closest to one of the reference photos that we had. And it's a very popular photo of Lincoln. We just wanted to try to replicate that. So again, it was a way to get some of these shots. But when he started seeing the images, he's like, can you make it a little sepia toned or something? I was just like, hold my beer. And because my hands are too cold to hold it. So
he's got mitts on while you're trying to use the keyboard using the thumb.
So this shot in particular is one that I made on the fly in front of him and brought this up. And I was like, listen, we're just going to throw some light behind here and do this and do this and do this. And his jaw dropped because he, unbeknownst to me, went to school for like animation and Maya, knows things ins and out, like all the in and outs of artistry and digital artistry. So
does this guy also is he a chef too? Like, what does this guy not do? Leave something for the rest of us, man. He's an
astronaut. He's a chef. He's, he drives a subway for underprivileged children. He does also, I don't know, but yeah, he knows everything. I was
going to say, what?
Yeah. So,
hey, these people exist, man. I know a couple of them where you're just like, man, leave some talent for the rest of us. Right. Just like, I feel like I can't tie my shoes some days.
It's a person that wins all the scratch off tickets. It's just like, why are you that lucky?
Yeah.
Right. So did this in front of him.
Love that for you, but wish I had some of it.
Yeah. And and I'm just going to throw this in here really fast as I kind of monitor the chat using Maya. He's an OG.
Super OG.
Oh yeah, for real.
Yeah.
So the cool thing was I did this in front of him and he was just really impressed with the speed, the accuracy, and just how quickly we could change some of the things that we shot moments ago into exactly what he was picturing. So I wanted to give you just this overview of what I did. And I know I sent you a couple of pictures, but I wanted to show you kind of where it sat in the middle of the project that we're going through right now and how I'm using optics to give him variations to get him as close to his artistic vision as we can get, right? Because this isn't about me just kind of like pushing my art on him.
This guy has a vision in mind.
He's got a vision.
This guy has you're the waiter of pixels at this point. You're just like, what would you like on the menu, sir? We have all of these things available. They're all good. Some are better than others. But how would you like your pixels served today? That's
the sommelier
what you're doing.
Of skin tones, if you will. So
there you go.
I think
that is a mouthful of a sentence. Yes.
But I love the fact that it gave me the ability to do this right in front of him. And I didn't have to sit
Yeah.
there and create a ton of different layers. It was just pick this, pick this, pick this. And so anyway,
Love
I
it.
wanted to do that for you. So now I know, when you hit the wrong button over and over and over. So
Yeah, constantly.
you wanted to, you had one of the images that I sent you up. Were you going to play with it a little bit?
Yep.
And show? Awesome.
Yeah. I'll walk you through how I made it. Yeah.
Oh,
so
awesome. Cool. Let's take a look.
Okay, let's pop you over here. Okay, we're going to duplicate our layer. I saved them as a look, so I'm not going to make them from scratch again because it's just way faster.
Yeah.
So we're going to go into optics. So duplicating the layer, converting to a smart object as always. Apply previous filters to mask. I'm going to say no. I'm going to close essentials and I'm going to go open up looks. And so there's these two Tintype portraits here that I saved. So this was the first one. And this was made, I don't think it was made on this specific image. But this is the entirety of nonsense that I put in here.
Wow.
So this light leak, we're going to move it over here because this one was made on a different image. So let's pull this over to here. Let's take borders and let's turn it down a little bit so it's like slightly less obvious. So here's film damage, which is fun. So let's double click here and let's go to what's really lovely about film damage is you can leave everything on default, and right at the very top here, there's this time slider.
My favorite.
And we can just roll the time slider and it will randomize the grain details, the stain details, the dust details, the hair details, scratch details, and vignette. So you can just like do nothing else and just adjust this, and you can figure out. So this, I like where this sits. So you don't even have to open anything else. Like everybody who's just like, it's too scary. Valid, fair enough. Just hit time slider, it's fine. Then I went to edge aware blur because I wanted to soften. So I looked at a ton of photographs from this time, at least you know how you have to like image search like pre 2021 now to find non-AI images. So that's what I did. And so I tried to replicate that softness, which is basically impossible without doing it manually, right? Like it is really hard, but I got pretty close with edge aware blur. And I basically was just like mucking around with the blur amount and the relative X versus Y and then the edge threshold. I basically just pushed sliders till I thought it sucked less.
Right.
I was basically just like, nope, that doesn't work. Oh, that doesn't work. Oh, it's not so bad. It's getting closer. That's what I did. And then there's the blur type. So you can have soft edges, sharp edges, or softer edges. I wanted soft edges because that is how this works. And then we can also change this from a Gaussian blur to a box, triangle, or smooth. And I just stuck with Gaussian because it just looked fine. But then what I did after that was I went in and I was like, all right, so now I want detail back, but I still want that softness. So I basically just very gently increased the coarse, medium, and fine details. So if we turn this on and off, if we zoom in here, if we turn this on and off, and then I turn on and off the edge aware blur underneath it, look at the difference in the image quality.
Wow.
So the edge aware blur actually did a pretty nice job on it. And so from here, let's go back here. I did a center spot because I noticed, like, obviously that was like a very low aperture, medium format, like you're saying, like f, 0.9.
Right.
So I was like, well, we're just going to do a center spot blur on this and just like really gentle. So, again, we would move this over to the face, but I made sure that because this was made originally on an image that was bigger, I'm making sure that it's basically just like over one of the eyes. So we could move it to one side or the other. And so that fall off there is still going to start happening pretty quickly outside of the eyes.
Wow.
So the mouth is going to start going out of focus. The nose is still going to be in focus, which, like, if you really wanted to get persnickety about it, we could shrink it down a little bit further.
Right.
But I mean, it's fine. Like, it's fine. Then I added our best friend forever, the black mist filter. Big fan of that one. Then I went into S channel switcher, which is where the restore alpha is, but I didn't use that. I used a different one. And I just started like flipping these around and just like randomly going like, yes, no, because what I was looking for is this contrast. So see what's happening between the lights and the darks, right? Yep. So I know I'm going to desaturate this after. I don't care what's happening with the color. It's the contrast and the highlight points that I'm looking for. And again, I was looking at the reference photos that you'd sent me of Abe Lincoln. So from there, I created a black and white layer and I turned down the contrast quite a bit. And I also reduced the brightness, right? So again, this is like getting flat,
Yeah, you're
which is
starting to sell it
intentional.
now. Yeah.
Yeah. And so if I turn on and off channel switcher, look at how different this looks.
Yeah.
Right. So the process, the series of steps, right? This is just like how this works, is very, very important. And this was, again, like, this is about 45 minutes of like, oh, that didn't work. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, that works. You know, like there was a lot of experimentation. But then there's this final tool here called Ozone. And this is probably one of the trickiest ones to learn, because here what you can see, so this is Ozone, and see how it's like it brought back those highlights that I was looking for. And I also added just like a little tiny touch of color into the highlights, which is what I was noticing with a lot of those photos that had that tiny bit of color in them, a little bit. So if we click here, so see zone here at the very top, here's zone 1. So we can see these areas here. You can see the mask of the area it's going to be affected. Zone 1, so 0, 1, 2, 3. So you can see how it's moving across the image. And so 5 gave me that little bit of contrast, see like the positioning of where I wanted those adjustments to be. I also went into 6 as well, because I wanted to bring that out and just like make that just a little bit brighter. And then of course I didn't do anything with 7, 8, 9, 10 because there's nothing there. There's no data. So I basically went from 5 and 6.
So you can individually change each zone, and it'll just save that. It's not, these aren't global changes to anything. It's just per zone and it'll stay there. Perfect. Okay. Just wanted
per zone. Yeah. Yeah. Per zone. This is great for product photography. And it admittedly, it took me about 2 years to figure out Ozone because I just didn't get it. And I had like 4 people show me and I was like, I'm just not following it. And then finally one day I had an image that I was working on and I wanted to create this like beautiful dewy skin. But unfortunately the makeup artist had just like caked on powder. And so, and like, obviously I have very limited pore texture to play with. And I was like, how am I going to get dewy skin with like caked on makeup? And finally I was just like, you know, I saw the zones here and I was like, that's how I can add that little bit of it's because it's luminosity masking is what it is, right? But it's just broken up into zones. And you can change the zones if you want to by adjusting the position and range sliders. So see here, you can like move these on your own and pick exactly what range you want these to be on.
I have other luminosity masking tools that I use that give you all of this capability, but it's going back into Photoshop, going to another tool, coming back in, you know what I mean? Like being able to do all that same stuff here in one tool, just blows my mind. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah. It literally all exists here. And again, this is a lot of steps, but I was super happy with this result.
And you can save it as a look.
So exactly. That's what I did. I saved it as a look. So we'll just hit apply. And then what we're going to do is I'll go into the other one. So we're just going to hit apply here. We're going to turn that off. We're going to duplicate this layer, convert it to a smart object.
I've been chasing that Tintype look for a couple of years now. And I don't use it all the time, but there's just something about it, right? And I don't shoot film. I don't shoot real Tintypes. But I've never found any software that replicates it the way that I want to see it. So knowing that I can do that in here, I'm stoked. And you just gave me the secret sauce. So thank you. Appreciate it.
There you go. Yeah. Well, so this is a different version, right? So this is similar, but not the same. So here's borders again at the bottom. And this was made for a different image, not this one. Then film damage, which you're familiar with. And then edge aware blur, which gave me like what I was looking for. And then detail, and then center spot, and then mist, which is our best friend forever. And then just a black and white layer that I just reduced the layer opacity. So this one wasn't as involved as the other preset. But I was still really happy with the results of this. You know, I'm still stoked with how this looks.
The deckled edge.
I don't know how your client feels about it, but
you know, at the end of the day, he only needed a handful of photos, but he wanted them to be really impactful. And so
there we go. That's it right there.
There you go. Right. So you found this in a shoebox or in an attic somewhere. It's
literally, yeah, that's exactly what I was going for with these. I wanted these to look like somebody found this in an attic that they haven't looked at in years.
Yep. And Becca's out here throwing shade. um, at Dennis. So, but I don't know if I threw this up earlier. Dennis was loving how to get this.
Oh,
this
yay.
look. So
yeah, love it.
I think the thing that really gets me is when I look at an image like this, I'm still blown away at how fast and how quick it was done. Now, granted, for you, you know where most of the things are and what you're doing. You've been using it a long time. For most of the people that are probably watching this, with the exception of also Becca and Dennis, the fact that people that are new to this or newer photographers that don't necessarily have the depth of Photoshop skills yet, you can still achieve a lot of amazing results by using a tool like BorisFX, which is going to give you, you know, all of these ways to explore what you have in your head. And you don't have to have a studio. You don't have to have 37 different lights and optical spots and whatnot. You can do a lot of that here. And in a fraction of the
Fix
time.
It in post.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, like, you can do all of this stuff in Photoshop eventually, right? You can get to stains and you can make brushes and do all that sort of stuff. But like the time slider, right? Variations, seeding, it opens up so many more possibilities that you wouldn't otherwise think were there, right? You just don't think about it because you have one task or one action, right? So I'm really loving this. And these look incredible. These look amazing how you put this all these together. So thank you for that.
I appreciate it. Yeah. Well, so what's really fun with this is so like to shout back to part of the reason that's why I invented looks for optics. So those presets, right? Mm-hmm. Because that way, like, you know, you can share them with your friends. You can save them on your hard drive and just give them to people. It's a great way to teach other people optics, just to be like, here, open this up. Mm-hmm. You know, so like next week, I can talk about this, I think. As of next week, we're putting out weekly emails with the optics mailing list. And once a month, we're adding in a look file that you can't buy anywhere. And then once that monthly mailing list is done, that look file disappears forever. And then I'm going to make you a new one for the next month. And so you're basically going to get 12 looks a year for free. And I'm putting in weird stuff into them. Some of them will be like clean and pretty and useful. Mm-hmm. And then other ones are going to be like, hey, did you know these filters exist? Did you know that if you put them and organize them this way, you can do these kinds of effects? And maybe they're utterly useless to you. But it also might teach you things about the software, because you're going to look at the software through your lens, through your experience, and through your eyes. And so you're going to look at this and go, oh, this one thing or these two things, right? Because like most of us, whether we're professionals or not, we've been doing pardon me, what we do for a long time. And we're not looking for a new way to do all of our work. We're looking for one or two things that change everything for us. Yeah. And so with these looks files, like that's why I was like, well, if we're going to do mailing list stuff like once a week, I was like, let's give people something. Let's help them learn the software in a way that allows for creativity to just like sit down and play and be like, cool, what's the look of the month this month? What can I do with it? How can I deconstruct it? And how can I save it into something else that is very you? Right. And I'm really excited about it. I don't know if anybody else is excited about it, but I am.
Well, this is,
so if you're not on the mailing list, get on the mailing list.
And it's amazing because you and I have been able to trade a couple of looks as I really started to explore the product. And, you know, there was Jake Hicks had an image that you showed me how it was done. And all of these orange, you know, tube lights and laser beams and stars. And it was really incredible to see something that, like, it's just not an image that would have ever entered my mind to make. And like this big cyberpunk thing. And it was super cool to see how it all came together in BorisFX. And the fact that you can save these as looks and then export them and trade them with people or do whatever you want is just such a great way to build a community too, right?
Well, that's what I really want. I want people out there with forums of like other people giving away their looks packs or like doing contests or their own stores or whatever. Like I want the looks to explode in the way that the preset community has for like Adobe Camera Raw, Lightroom, Capture One styles, right? Like I want this for looks because I want to see what other people can do with this software when they start like I want to see people flip this stuff on its head. Like since we put out the depth map mask, for example, there's a guy who made a whole YouTube tutorial on relighting portraits. And I was like, I didn't even think of that. I was like, obviously that would work. Duh, because it's a depth map. And of course you can relight it like using the spotlight, like obviously, but like I just never thought about it. There's a million things in optics because there's so many things you can do, right? Like I guarantee you that like the person who thought up blending modes or whatever weird random thing, you know, 3 years later down the road sees somebody going like, hold on a second. So like for example, frequency separation.
Yeah.
When they thought up high pass filter, they were not thinking frequency separation. They were like sharpening, cool. And then some mega nerd comes along and is like, I can separate the photos into color and texture and manipulate them independently from each other. How cool is that?
Right.
And that's what I want to see with the software because it's so deep. If you want it to be, if you are that type of person who likes, like, you know, like I said, you see the deep end of the pool and you're like, I wonder if I can touch the bottom.
Right.
You know, I want to see people flip this software on its head and just like blow my mind, like show me things that like I have never considered because there's literally so much you can do. And I think the looks is the way to do that. And like I don't like give them away. So I don't care, right?
Well,
like just like do cool stuff.
It's everybody, you know, used to download all those preset packs, right? Everybody got Lightroom presets and you'd get 5,000 of them.
I got thousands of them.
Thousands, right?
Thousands of them.
And
yeah,
the thing was, you got to add this and then maybe it'll get you there, right? And you have 97 variations. And it felt like you were sold a bill of goods and you didn't really get anything when you downloaded them. You know, It just never really got you close enough. With this, you can really create an entire package of, hey, here's your old Tintype looks. Here's your outdoor autumn scenes, right? And the only thing that you'll have to do is maybe change some masks. But the steps are all there.
Or like
the
move the lens
there.
flare, move the lens flare to where it needs to be, right? Or turn it off, right? Like, yeah. So, it's so much more powerful than traditional presets are.
Yeah.
Right. Like just the things that you can do in here is ridiculous. Like this was the only other software that I have ever found that when I discovered it, I was like, it lit me up the same way finding Photoshop in 1997 did, where I was like, I can do what?
And that's what this has done for me too, for sure. And you know, being able to save looks in multiple variations of the looks so that you can go quickly in between them. For me, that's just, it saved me so many hours of work. So that's awesome. There were a couple more comments I was watching here. Shout out to Renee and Co for making all my arcane Photoshop knowledge obsolete, right?
That's not true. That's not true.
Right. No, not at all. And then
not even close.
Kit was saying the options are literally endless. So yeah, the secret combo of buttons and shortcuts to get something or other. I'll read it. To get that was it. Comment got cut off. And then hey, thanks for entertaining me while I slug away on marketing stuff. Our pleasure.
Happy to entertain you. Yeah.
You know,
hopefully you're not offending anybody when I'm making fun of like, you know, temperature by toasters.
There was one question that Yali had a while back, which was, can you put the survey in the description? If you're still here, yes, absolutely. That's going to go in the description. And you can always scroll back in the video too. But yeah, I'll put it in the description so it's a clickable link. So yeah, I think that was an incredible overview. And, you know, it's really inspiring to me to be doing some of this stuff, like I said, for some of my clients, and then just having a 1 hour conversation with you, just now all of these places that I can go with some of my old work. And that's what I'm really breathing life into, is a lot of my older work. Portraits that I was just like, I wish I had had a gobo at this point, or I wish I could have done the light a little bit different, or I'm going to go back to some of my clients that did complain about the makeup and I wasn't able to fix, and see if there's anything I can do with them, right? Really, like to adjust lip color and eye color and all that sort of stuff. So the fact that it's become a very, very used tool in my workflow, where I've kind of cast off a lot of my other actions and plugins that I've got, which are all great. But I used to do all of my hand retouching and it would take a long time, especially if you have a big batch of images, right? So being able to do all this stuff, just, it's turning me into a different type of photographer where, you know, I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of this stuff publicly, but for me, I see things differently now when I'm shooting, because now I'm shooting for the edit after the fact. And that to me shows when a software really hits home, when you want to partner with it rather than it being in your way. So,
oh man, you got to put that in writing. I'm going to like put that on my desk the next time I get like hate mail over something. I'm just going to be like, somebody likes it.
Just hold that up to the team.
You're like reverse hype. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, somebody said something really nice once upon a time.
They really like me. They really like me. And yes, right here, she says it. So that we all don't have to.
Oh yeah, take the compliment.
Take the compliment. Right. So
I'll do my best. I'll do my best.
Listen, we've been doing this we crashed YouTube. Just think about it that way. We crashed YouTube
3 times.
So 3 times. I know. Well, I can never do it just once. So thank you for doing this. I mean, I have other things that I wanted to talk about, but my mind has been blown tonight by all this. I thought we were going to get on and you were going to say, "No, I got nothing to follow up on. I got nothing." And
that's not even all of it, man. Like, we didn't even touch on, like, we have upscaling now in optics, so you don't have to pay for Topaz anymore, and there's no
talk about,
runs hard on your system.
Let's I want you to, instead of me talking over you like a gibbering idiot, tell me about that, because when you told me about this a month ago, when you were talking about the upscaling, I said, wait a minute, I use Topaz. Do I need to use that anymore? So tell me about the upscaling.
Yeah, let me see if I have an image here. Okay, let's take you and let's make you nice and small. Open with Photoshop. Okay, now let's take this into here and let's pull it over to, that's not the one that we're looking for here. Okay, so let's pull this onto here. So this is too small right now, right? Obviously. Let's move this over here. There we go. All right, so we want this to fit our image. And we're just like, because we're adding a texture in and we don't want to stretch it. We want this to like actually work the way we want it to. So we're just going to sit this. We're going to place this where we want it to. I'm going to convert it to a smart object. And we are going to leave the size of this as it is. We're going to go to filter. We're going to go to BorisFX, and we're going to go to optics. Now, full disclosure, if you do the UpRes without the extra canvas area through the plugin through Photoshop and not the standalone, then you're going to basically, it's going to act like a crop. So it's really good for wildlife. If you're like shooting eagles, like I photograph the ugliest eagle photos imaginable. I take the worst photos of these birds. I actually turned it into a Photoshop. I turned it into a Photoshop challenge one day because I just like this poor eagle was just like so epic, and everyone else got these like incredible shots, and I got this eagle that just looks so dumb. But anyways, he was really small in my frame, and so I was like, well, I want this to zoom in. So I was like, well, how am I going to do that? Well, we're going to go to UpRes. But in another case here, we're just going to click UpRes ML. This is happening entirely native on your hard drive. This is no credits. There is none of that other nonsense. So let's go to 200% here. We're going to hit enter. It's going to load the model. There you go, 200%. We're like, oh, that's a little bit too big. Let's go 150. There you go, 150. Go, Well, let's say we wanted to do 175, because obviously these are also different aspect ratios. So there's that too, right? So it's just going to re-render. There we go. We have our texture. That's the size of the image that I wanted to put it on. We're just going to hit apply. And now we are going to have this texture, the right size, accurately upscaled in optics no topaz required. And then we can just slam this onto a soft light blending mode.
And you're not getting that pixelated, gross loss of detail from the original.
Nope. Nope.
That's dope. I like that a lot.
It's great. It works awesome. So like I said, I do recommend, like, if you're, just upscaling in general, do it through the standalone. Because what you can do, let's just load the standalone. Let's just go optics 2026. And let's go here. So we're going to go file, and then we go open with resize. So open with resize, and we're going to bring this, let's grab this small one. There we go here. Open with resize, open, and then here you can upscale it before it even loads into optics. So you can say, all right, with pixels %, let's grab like 200%. It's just going to link the two. And then we say, okay. And then this is upscaled already. This is now the new resolution.
Wow.
So yeah. But if you want to do it through here and you're like, oh, well, I photographed my ugly bird, and you go UpRes ML, and then we can move this around here, and you're like, well, this is where the bird face is. Let's go 300%. And it's going to upscale it, but it's going to zoom it in to the point that you have on the face. And then today it's going to make me look like a liar. Oh no, there it is. It's rendering. It's just spitting out slowly. It's going to do it eventually. It's just going to make me look like a jerk.
So Dennis, I'd thrown it up on screen a second ago. I got to test this out, up resizing inside the plugin. And
yeah,
Kit was also saying I was also about using Topaz, but this is game changing.
Oh, really fun. That's fun.
That's dope.
Yeah. Yeah. So we can see here in the corner here, the UpRes here. I guarantee you this is because we're live streaming, and I have Photoshop open, and I have optics open.
I'm sure.
And I have like a bunch of folders open. And this is just what happens when you do it live. Something always blows up. But anyways, so that's the standalone version, is just go file, open. Yeah, it's totally frozen. Open with resize. And then that'll give you the size that you're looking for. Say no. But like I said, if you're doing it, you just create the canvas size that you're looking for in Photoshop. If that's your way of doing it, expand the canvas to the size that you want, and then load it into optics, and then do the upscaling from there.
That's really, really cool. Again, awesome. I have, just a bunch of images from years ago that I know I shot only as JPEG and, on whatever potato cam I had at the time. And I would love to make some of them a little bit bigger and be able to blow them up, give them to people, right? All my shitty photography, I love giving that as gifts. So, no, that's a really, really cool thing. Again, it's another reason to take a look at optics, because now you don't have to have Topaz. And, who knows how long Topaz is going to keep updating that. But,
well, Topaz has a lot of other different tools that we don't have too, right? So I don't necessarily think this is like, you have to have one or the other. I'm definitely pro both, because like Topaz does stuff that we don't do. But if you were literally just upscaling, and that's like the only thing that you're doing, like this literally just comes included with the software. You don't have to pay extra for it. So, yeah, but the thing that I think is really fun, I have a friend who photographs portraits, largely for influencers. He photographs 100% everything on low-res JPEG mode, and then he upscales the photos that they want, just to save hard drive space. And I was like, that is brave.
Yeah, that's
brave.
cheap.
But, right? but like, I mean, so like, but you have to remember that this is the market that this person is going for is influencers, right? So like their stuff is Instagram only. They don't need high res photos. They're never going to print it. Right. They're never anything. Right. So he just shoots everything, and then he retouches on low res JPEGs as well, and then upscales. And I was like, that's brilliant. Like, I get it. But like, that doesn't work for my type of work. The type of images that I make, they typically print really big, right? So like, my largest print to date is 40 by 60 feet. And that wasn't a billboard. That was just like people were walking by it at WPPI. It was massive. And it was like pixel perfect. So like, I don't have that luxury of shooting small JPEG. But for this person whose market is e-girls, you know, and like, you know, like influencer marketing.
Right.
You're right, 100%. You literally don't need to shoot raw. You know, you're good at lighting. Your retouching's way faster, and then you just upscale the photos that they pick. I was like, that's brilliant. I have no notes.
It's a great way to go. I never even thought about it. You know, I kind of make fun of it, but it's actually a great way to go. And the whole, you know, the Topaz or BorisFX. No, I agree with you. Like, I've got duplicates of a lot of tools because right tool for the job, right? Know how to use it, know the 100%. Capabilities, right tool for the job. But yeah. I like the fact that if I were starting over, I'd be looking here pretty hard as a first part of my workflow because it has so much in it before I started looking at other subscriptions. Obviously, if Boris can't do something, then, you know, there is other alternatives out there. But I just really like the fact that there's so much now jam-packed into this that,
yeah, well, I love it. Like I said, for like my lousy bird photos, right? Like, cause now like I'll do like the base color correction in ACR and like reduce the noise and, you know, whatever raw calibrations I want to do. But like those birds are always like, you know, I'm zooming into like 600%, you know, to be like, I got a bird, you know? And I'm not a good wildlife photographer, right? And I don't even have the lenses for it. I shoot birds with like a 7200. So like, obviously these birds are small.
You got a 16 and 35 trying to get an eagle at 400 yards and not meters.
Yeah.
All right. You know, we're going to kind of wind these down, but Becca's really saying, I think what we all feel is that all of these features are cool AF, because I really do think, you guys are onto something here. Just watching this develop. Whenever I talk to you, there's so much passion behind what you're doing, and you're always so excited about the new stuff coming out or the tutorial that you just made.
You guys don't even know what's coming for the next build. I can't wait to show everybody like for the next release, because there's a 0.5 release through the middle of the year. And I'm so excited for it because like some of these filters I've been building since last summer, like some of these features. And I just like, I can't wait to get it out into the world. And I want to see people break it. I want to see people flip it on their head. I want to see people do stuff with it that I've never considered. I'm so ready for it. I just want it out into the world, but there's going to be a lot of 50-hour weeks until that launch happens.
As it goes with any sort of software product release, right? There's never a down cycle. Just never a down cycle.
Not very often. There's like 3 weeks afterwards where you're just like, I'm a husk. I don't know what time it is. I don't know what century it is. Oh, hello. Yay.
I'm just going to keep throwing, I'm just going to keep gassing you up the whole show. We're just going to keep coming back to this. So Renee, this is incredible. And this is why I just love, we lost 2 hours, but gained so much in just laughs and knowledge and just feeling good about being artists and creatives. And I love seeing you at the helm of this small ship and really, really pushing it in directions that a lot of other styles of photographers can now access it, right? With knowing everybody's a Photoshop, Capture One, Lightroom. I'm starting to now hear more and more people talk about this, kicking the tires, checking it out.
Perfect.
And I really do want to talk to my people, my circles, my portrait, personal branding, product photographers, like really take a hard look at this. Do the trial, do the trial, play with it.
Yeah. It's a free 2-week trial. Yep. Yeah. It costs nothing. Oh,
put it to the test for what you do. You're doing, sports photography for, high school kids, whatever. A lot of cool stuff you can do.
Oh yeah, the lens flares are great for that. For sports, the lens flares are amazing. They're totally great. Yeah.
So
yeah, it's the lens flares are the most popular filter. I didn't even touch on them today. They're literally the most popular feature that people use in optics. They love it.
God,
but like the thing that I love about this is that like, because I've been a digital artist for like literally almost 30 years now, 1997 to 2026. That anniversary is coming up real fast. But the thing that like I said, outside of Photoshop, this is the only piece of software where like it lit me up the same way as discovering Photoshop. But like being in charge, like literally the product manager for it, means that like, because I have over 30 years of making images, there's all these things that I wanted. I was just like, I just want it to be in the world, but like I'm not a programmer, you know, like, and I didn't have time because I was running my own business. And when you're running your own business, you were running with a chicken with your head cut off all the time. But now these lunatics at BorisFX were like, you want a software to do stuff with? And I'm like, do I? Give me the child. I'm so
Show
excited.
me the baby.
Yeah, exactly. I will raise it. I will teach it things. We will make it do awesome stuff. It will take over the world. But like, you know, because like this is like I've always seen photography, you know, like so digital artists of the world, 3D artists of the world, you know, painters, you know, illustrators of the world. They're the introverts of the art world. You know, they like to like hang out by themselves with the headphones on, doing the things. Awesome. Love it. Photography is inherently social, right? And it is a community thing. Like for most of us, like that is our social life. Like I have definitely noticed my social life has tanked since I took this job because I don't work with people as much anymore. Like I'm still shooting commercially. I'm still taking clients and stuff like that. But you know, like for a significant number of hours every week, I'm working in software. So I'm just like by myself and I'm lonely. And it really like sunk home like how social photography is and how important the community is to photography. And I mean, like when people like react, the photography industry particularly reacted incredibly negatively to generative AI images on largely, right?
Mm-hmm.
Digital artists also, but not as severely, you know, in like other industries, you know, varying reactions. But photography, I noticed was like a very particular brand of spicy that I didn't really see in other communities in the same way. And maybe my algorithms are just lying to me, but I don't think so. And then the environmentalists, but valid as well. But because photography is so social, and that is like our social capital, right? It's like, you know, that's like, you know, that is important and that matters. And when the generative stuff comes along, it threatens those social structures that we have and those communities that we have. And I think like, you know, I think it is so important now more than ever to like hold on to the thing that we love to do with the people that we love to do it with.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, most of us are not going to, you know, go and just do Gen AI because at the end of the day, it's working with the people that is the thing that matters to us, right? The images are almost secondary, even though it's the reason why we get out of the house, because there's lots of introverts in photography too, where we're just like, oh God, I got a people today. But like ultimately, there's a part of you that likes it because otherwise, if you didn't, you would just do something else, right? Like you literally would just do anything else if you were that anti-people. And so I think, yeah, like that is something that if I was to make a piece of software, it's so that the community has something to stick together to, another thing to stick together to, another thing to build together, another thing to play with together. And so that's what I'm hoping to do with a piece of software is to get people together.
There's a couple of things that I saw Dennis talk about. I'm going to get back to your point here in a second, but to just kind of cap off what you're saying right there, I love how supportive the photography community can be. And the other thing is that photographers are Luddites, sadly. Remember the arguments about mirrorless? Yeah.
But that's fine. Like, that's also fine, right?
But
you know, like, I think, yeah, the community is where the important stuff lives, 100%. And you got to find your tribe, right? So that not every community is going to be for you. You know, social media is definitely fracturing. You know, those big communities are definitely like a thing of the past, and people are going back to like niche websites and niche communities. Like Glenn Dewis, for example, has school, like skool.com. Yeah, Glenn's great. He has an amazing community of like 2,000 people. I mean, like just like a wonderful little micro ecosystem of, you know, people out there. And those are everywhere. There's like Patreon communities, there's like all this stuff, right? And so it's like it's gone from these like massive groups where there was like 50,000 people and it was toxic to like these smaller supportive communities. You know, Offbeat Photo is another one that has like a really good supportive community of people who just love photography. And you know, I really hope for the people who are feeling disenfranchised and alienated by everything that's going on. You know, like those tribes for you are out there. It now takes a little bit more work to find them, and that's okay. Because also, do you remember how weird the internet was in like the early 2000s?
Mm-hmm.
And you were just like I was trying to find tutorials on like how to do digital art, and I was like, you know, reading text, like looking at screenshots in Russian, pre Google Translate, trying to figure out what did they do. You know, we're like kind of going back to that a little bit more, and I kind of love that because the internet was weird and like the things were niche and it was fun and it was strange and experimental. And I think that with the disillusionment of social media, these smaller communities are allowing for these like little strange pockets of communities to rise again. And that's very fun.
It's absolutely what I think is happening in all of these communities, right? The generative stuff, that is where people, right? Photography is hard enough to make a living, right? Generally speaking.
It's not easy.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
So I think what people were feeling was just another kick in the nuts. Like, hey, here's something else that goes
100%.
against what we're trying to do. But it doesn't really affect the photography unless you let it, right? If you don't want to use generative, don't use it. Like, it really comes down to that. So it can either affect your life or not. For me, I was just like, okay, it's here. We can't do anything about it. Let's adapt myself or adapt my business and just, you know, make whatever changes are necessary. I think what I'm trying to do here with Generator, and I love that we're talking here at the end about community, because I think you're right insofar as photographers or even any visual artist, right? We are so insular when we're doing our thing, when we're in flow. A lot of times it is such an isolating feeling to be alone on this artistic island, right? You're just kind of floating out there. And then you get the other random people that show up on the island and you eat together and then you go off to your little huts, right? And everybody just kind of does their thing. So what I'm trying to do here is I don't see a lot of photographers in my circle, digital artists, yes, but regular photographers doing a lot of live streaming, having these conversations, getting a bunch of people together, forming these little niche communities. And so, you know, it's interesting you bring that up because I was looking at school, I was looking at Circle, I'm looking at ways to figure out how do I bring this audience into a place where we can discuss ideas and everybody kind of lifts up, right? I was talking about this to the folks at Ecamm, folks that make this software, is that there are communities where it's all about the material, right? The podcast, it's all about the material. Like they just like listening to Rogan because he's going to have some weird thing on, you know, weird dude on there with conspiracy theories. But there's another type of community that takes care of each other. And outside of the material, it just becomes its own thing, its own little family. That's what I'm driving towards, because I feel like conferences are dying, virtual retreats, virtual summits, they're all fine, but they're not creating this thing that allows us to trade the craft, to trade stories, to share this stuff. It's not Facebook is what I'm talking about. It's not Facebook. It's not a comment section anywhere.
Exactly right.
There need to be places for people to gather and find that tribe. So that's what I'm trying to build here with this, to help other photographers get into streaming,
100%.
get into video, to doing this stuff, because like it or not, this is where it's going. So, you know, says the damn near boomer.
Like there's two ways to remember though, that to look at creativity, right? So there's the people who do it for a business. And if you're doing it for a business, it's cutthroat, right? And that's just business. That is literally just business. You know, like there's things, you know, somebody changes the game quickly on something and then an entire industry is obsolete overnight. It happens all the time, right? So that's the business of photography. Right. But then there's the whole other side of it, of people who just do it because they love it, because they enjoy it, because it sparks joy. It gives them, you know, one woman that I was speaking to recently, she's a nurse, right? So she's dealing with like hard
real
stuff.
Problems.
Every day, the real problems of life, right? Not the ones like, oh, Gen AI is taking my job. Like that's a real problem too. But like, you're an ER nurse. Yeah. You're in it, right? Yeah. And you know, she was feeling concerned because she was like, well, what are people gonna think about you know, and she doesn't do it as a business, you know, like she like, you know, maybe here and there does like the occasional client, but like mostly just does it because she loves it. And she's like, well, what are people going to think if I use Gen Fill? And I was like, you saved the life of a child last night. Who gives a shit what they care? Who gives a shit what they think about what you do with your art in your free time? Fuck them. Like, it's like, you do whatever you want, however you want. I was like, you don't want to use Gen AI? Don't use it. You want to use it on everything? Awesome. I was like, do your thing. Do the thing that makes you happy. Do the thing that made yesterday's 24-hour shift feel lighter, right? Do the thing that sparks you joy, that gives you the energy to be like, cool, I'm going back into work today and I don't know what I'm going to see. And I don't know if I'll ever be able to forget it. Do whatever you want. You're in a business? All right, cool. Different story. But you do this because you love it? Literally fuck everybody else. Do whatever you want.
That's where I want to close, because there's no better way to end this. Yeah, there was a couple of comments, right? Poor Becca.
Oh, Becca.
Sorry for what we've done. We've traumatized Becca tonight, and I apologize for that.
Love Becca.
Yeah, I know, she's the greatest.
I would give Becca like the world's longest hugs ever.
Kit was saying, but there's something so contagious about excited, passionate creatives that almost makes me forget I'm peopling. Right? Because at some point in the conversation, everybody just kind of goes quiet because everybody's done with the conversation. And then you just sit there in like that comfortable silence that we're all working, but nothing else needs to be said. That's my favorite time in any gathering, is where we're just all comfortable.
100%.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. It's the best.
And then David, welcome. Thank you for being here, man.
Franco showed up.
Have you seen the show The Pit? It made me rethink a lot of my problems. Also, hi. Also, meow, meow. Yeah. It's so good to see you.
I mean, it's so good to see him. Yeah. I mean, so the pit is a great example.
Yeah.
You know, so I have not seen The Pit because I just did 2 years of that, of caregiving for my mom before she passed of cancer last year. And let me tell you, after going through that, you can't tell me much anymore. You literally, like, you know, we just passed the 1-year anniversary, and like, I am a very different person pre and post. And of course you should be, right? Like, I think if I wasn't, there would be something pretty concerning about it. But I mean, that like definitely gave me the perspective of like, you know, for the work that I do for fun, I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. And, you know, people will sometimes say like, oh, what about if, and I'm just like, you did not see what I saw for the last 2 years. And granted, there are people who were doing this way longer. Another friend of mine, you know, like it was 10 years. It was 10 years. It was so long. And I was like, I can't imagine the endurance for stuff like that. Right. But like, if like, even, you don't even need traumatic stuff going on in your life. You're doing this stuff because you love it. Do it because you love it. Right. You know, like you're not taking anything away from the world. Like this isn't law school. This isn't medicine. You can practice this in your basement. Nobody's going to come after you. It's fine. Just have fun. You know, let it be fun, let it be bad, let it be weird, let it be experimental. Like I'm painting miniatures. I'm learning to paint miniatures. That was one thing I picked up when I was looking after mom.
Mm-hmm.
And it was such a stress reliever, because I just needed something. I couldn't do digital art because I would have to like drop it in a second and go do whatever was happening. Right. Like I had to be able to just be like, cool, next. And so painting miniatures was that thing. I'm not good. I don't care.
Yes, you are. I've seen it.
It's like this thing. It's so nice to just not stare at a screen and just like look at a little thing and be like, if I totally screw this up, not only can I just strip the paint off it and start again, I can melt it. I can just get another one printed. I can just buy another one. Like it doesn't matter. And I think it's so important as a creative to have those pockets, especially if you're a professional, especially if you're doing this stuff for a living, right? Like pick up the piano, pick up hiking, pick up something that like is a pressure release that gives you something back, that allows you to let something go. It doesn't matter what it is. But if photography is that thing that allows you to let something go, take the pressure off yourself, man. Just love it. Let it be exactly what it is. Messy, beautiful, catastrophic, bad shoots, great shoots. You lost your camera, you forgot your lens of whatever. Just like, let it be all these beautiful, wonderful things that being creative is. And that's what I would close with.
I love you. I really do, with all my heart. I think you're the greatest. You're the voice that this business needs, man.
I will shout this from the mountaintops. I will literally, I don't fight very many people on the internet for very much, but I will totally fight strangers on this one.
And again, what if she wants to practice experimental medicine in her basement, right?
I mean, I have no advice for this. That's outside my wheelhouse.
Well, she's like, maybe I'll take pictures of it. And
That's
then
true. Maybe you could.
David's talking about a new video series coming out. I think this is great. And
yeah, I mean, this could be a whole new series. This could turn into something else.
Dennis is always so
the best.
kind. All right, last comment of the night. Stag, I'm late to the party. Wanted to pop by and say hi. It seems like my man.
Yes.
Dollar Bill Walker. How are you, my friend? And is that Brad? Oh, that was Brad Walker. Oh man. So Brad.
2 walkers.
Hear me out. Yeah, totally. So I went to college with this guy, the smoothest man. Think Billy D. Williams, but even smoother. So his name was Bill Walker and played basketball, tall, deep baritone voice, stunningly handsome. I think he's like a lawyer or a doctor or financier or something like that now.
That tracks. Yeah, he's another one of those people of like leave something for the rest of us. Yeah.
Right. Brad Walker was an Apache pilot and just a great friend, another crafter. So I have a map of the United States down in my kitchen that Brad made from pieces of scrap wood that he collected and put together. It's a phenomenal piece. And
that's amazing.
Yeah, he did it for an auction years ago for a Border Patrol agent that was unfortunately killed. And so we had a fundraiser for his family and for the foundation. And so this was one of the pieces, and I wound up buying it. And Brad's just a great dude, man. Good Texas boy. I think he's Texas. Please don't kill me if it's not Texas. But Brad,
next week there's no generator podcast. Matt's just missing.
Matt's just missing, yeah. And his house is also gone. There's a crater there for some reason. I have no idea what happened.
Oh, strange.
Right. I didn't know we were doing military strikes in Maine. Yeah, right. It's all redacted. All right.
It was Bill.
Yeah, exactly. Bill, I didn't do anything. We saw it on a podcast. We saw it on Generative. All right. I'm going out to WPPI next week. You got any advice before I get out there into that Sin City?
So I have a weird piece of advice. So this is weird. This falls under medical advice, which I'm not qualified to give. So you should talk to a doctor.
All right. I'm strapping in. Let's do it.
So there is such a thing as a vitamin C infusion that you can get IV in your veins. Mm-hmm. Honestly, get one. Mm-hmm. It has saved my ass. Every Vegas, one of those conferences, I get one. So you have to go usually to a naturopathic doctor and you have to do all the things and whatever. So just do it properly. Don't just dial a buddy who's was an ER nurse 10 years ago.
Some OJ in a syringe. Just
don't do that. Don't be that person. Go to a doctor that handles, or medical spa. Medical spas also do these, like the vitamin C infusions. Mm-hmm. And honestly, get one. Every single time I don't do this before I go to Vegas for a conference, I get sick as hell. And then every single time that I do it, if I get sick, it is very minor.
Yeah.
So that is my survival tactic, number 1. And number 2 is throat lozenges, because God knows most of us, we sit in front of the computer all day. Like, even though photography is social, 90% of photography is invoicing and tracking down clients and editing and all the other things, right? So we don't speak very often. And then by day 2, you're sounding like you smoked 30 cigarettes, back when you were in NOM, every hour, and your voice is just cooked. So yeah, good throat lozenges.
Yeah, they'll negate my pack of Luckies a day, but it'll keep me talking. So
yeah, pretty much.
Oh, God, I want to do that. I want to have this be a regular show. I want to bring you on every week, and we'll just go through one more thing in BorisFX, and I figure we'll get through the entire product in about 7 years. That sound about right? I was
going to say 8, so yeah, that's a pretty good guess.
Pretty good guess. Okay, cool. I just figured we already covered a couple of things tonight, so.
Yeah. Well, so there is a possibility. It's not confirmed yet, but I might be going to NAB. So if you happen to be at NAB in Vegas, which is in April, that could be fun.
I'll start
NAB
getting
is a
my
good time.
infusions. Start getting my infusions now. All right, get out of here. Thank you so much. Guys,
no, thank you for having me on. And I'm like, I love that you're doing this. I love that you're having these conversations with people. I love that you're building community, because you're doing exactly what I'm telling everybody that is starting to happen right now, is like building these little micro communities of people who are just supportive and awesome and doing really cool stuff. And I love what you're doing here. And thank you so much for having me on and letting me be a massive nerd.
I appreciate you so much. All right. So for
likewise,
those of you that are still here, first and foremost, like, I'll send you a check. Just let me know how long you were on. I pay by the minute. So just do that. And then I'm going to be recapping a bunch of this stuff on Friday morning. So if you're watching and you want to get a little bit more detail, I'm doing a quick live on Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern, and I'll cover a bunch of this stuff and, just kind of give you the AI summary of it all, if you will, the actual intelligence summary of it all. How's that sound? That's cheesy as hell. All right, I'm going to stop this now. Thank you, guys. David says, goodbye, friends. I'll see you in Vegas. I can't wait, man. I'm so glad you're going to be there. Please, let's find some time to just kind of sit down and talk. So, and Becca is saying, great to see and hear you both. Been too long. Amen. I was talking about you the other day, Becca, and I was bringing up the people that influenced me and really kind of pushed me in different directions, and you were one of them. And I hold you in the highest esteem, my friend. So, all right.
Becca's the best.
She's incredible. Guys, thank you again for hanging out, and I will see you on Friday. All right. I wish I had some fancy graphic, but I don't, so I'll just do this. Bye, guys.
He spent